Hey, I'm Mark,
And I'm Chris.
and we're the leftovers.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
I did not agree to that.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Mark.
What's happening?
Please don't do that again.
Really?
Yes.
It's a good day, man. Come on.
It's a good day, but you're too old for that.
Let's just have some fun today. You want to have some fun?
I was hoping to have fun since it's 98 degrees outside.
You sound like you're trying to have some fun over there. I wanted to have some fun.
I do. It's been hot outside.
We're inside.
We're inside, though.
We're in a 70-degree-ish.
73 degree.
It feels much cooler than that because
Yes,
I'm in
because
the room.
we've been outside in the 98 degree heat.
I'm in the room.
You wish.
No, I'm in the room, actually. Here I am. See me? Yes. Here's something we want to say today. We want to say it because we are the leftovers.
Are we not going to change our name again?
No.
Okay. Then I guess we are the leftovers. I didn't agree to that, but we are the leftovers.
You did not agree. But you actually did. You tell people you did not agree to it, but you did.
But I didn't.
Literally, you did. You made the logo and everything.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
You can't prove that. So continue with what you were saying.
Thanks. We just want to say, hey, listeners, that's you guys. Thanks for listening. We're not done, so stay tuned here. So, we have an upcoming episode. The title is blank, 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 blank. I can't tell it just yet, but one of our listeners gave us the name, and we're going to use it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to have a good time with it.
I definitely have not agreed to this because you have not told me what it is.
Well, it's a secret. How about that? It's a secret from the listeners.
Okay, but I'm a host.
Yeah.
Co-host. But
No, the host with the most.
is you right now because you have the idea. Well, I guess that's going to be today's episode. Let's go.
No. So in the very near future, we have a couple more to do before we get to that one. But it's going to be a good time. We appreciate you guys listening and giving us some ideas because we're going to use them, and I promise that. So again, for this episode, I'll give you some information at the end of the show.
Before we do that,
Yes.
if you could share this podcast with your friends, families.
Yes. Thank you, Chris. That's why it's co-hosted and not just hosted. Because you have the answers. Go.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
If you would please share this with your friends, your family, on all the social medias that you can.
All of them.
It would greatly help us.
Yeah.
With our
we
numbers.
want other people to listen. Not just a guy from Belgium or girl.
But it can help us get our message out there.
Yeah.
Messages, our ideas.
Hey, and if there's something about this we can change to get more listeners, we would or will.
We might, depending on
We could.
if it changes us or not.
Oh, it's not changing me. It can't.
Let's move on with the show.
Okay, go. Here we are. We're back.
You had the idea.
We didn't go anywhere. No, it was your idea.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
What kind of person are you, Mark?
Good looking, middle aged.
Are you a leader or are you a follower?
It's always getting specifics.
Well, I was wanting you to somewhat.
And some things, yes. Leadership. I have I have worked in leadership a little bit, and I've also like majority of people, I've walked behind and listened and followed. So, I think the question you're asking is sheep, wolves, and goats. And could be another one involved here. Farm animals, that is. Or
Cows.
I guess, is a wolf a farm animal?
No, a wolf is not a farm animal.
It could be if it showed up on a farm to
It
kill
still
the,
wouldn't be a farm animal. It
kill
would
the
be
sheep
a predator.
Yeah. But it could show up on the farm,
Okay.
right?
I guess so. You're the one talking about farms.
Do you have something against farms?
No, I wouldn't mind a farm. It'd be better than living in a city.
Would it now?
At this point in time, yes.
This point in time. What about 20 years ago?
I guess it would depend.
About 100 years ago.
Then yes.
Why?
Because you wouldn't have to worry about where your food's coming from. If you had
Would
a
you
farm,
not?
it would be coming from your farm.
Yeah, what if it all died?
Then
Then
you're in
you
trouble.
die. Yeah. I like the fact the restaurant's right around the corner and the local store right around the corner. Sheep, Chris. Sheep. Do you know what a young sheep is called?
A lamb.
Do you know how long they're called a lamb?
All I know is lambs are used for lamb chops.
Uh-oh. Wasn't thinking about that one. Until 1 year old-ish.
Nah.
They're known as lambs.
Then why is that puppet called Lamb Chop? It was around for more than a year.
Is at least 100 years old.
Yeah, I know, but it was still called Lamb Chop.
It never aged. That's what it was. It was the ageless lamb.
It's like all these cartoons. They don't age. They just stay the same age for like
That's a good.
30
Would you
years.
really want to see an old Scooby-Doo? I mean, really. Shaggy.
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of The Simpsons. Bart's been the same age
Yeah,
forever.
25 years, yeah.
Family Guy.
30 years.
Stewie's been a baby for how many years?
Yeah, the Family Guy should already had a heart attack or something.
Yeah.
What's up with that chin, thing?
We're getting off subject now.
Sheep, Chris. Sheep. Lamb and sheep. Do you know what a female sheep is called?
A sheepette.
Close. A ewe.
A ewe?
A ewe.
I'm not a female sheep.
Ewe, not you.
I'm not a female sheep.
Ewe. The male sheep is called a ram. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Now you do. They're rarely called that, though. Hey, go get that ram. The truck? No, the sheep. So, if people act as sheep, how are they acting?
They're followers. They follow the leader. Whoever the leader is, whether it is
Follow the leader. He's on a Honda. I think that was a commercial back in the day.
going back to where I was talking.
Yep.
There are many different ways people can be sheep, whether it's
Why don't you tell us, Chris?
I was going to until you
my
rudely
bad.
interrupted me.
I can't
Again,
hardly see you. You're a long way across the room from me.
yes, we are so far away from each
Are
other.
you over there?
No.
Okay. So sheep People.
Yes. People,
and sheep.
depending on if it's politically or
Oh,
if it's...
here we go.
Oh, goodness.
Let's just talk in generalities for a minute.
I was trying to do multiple things. Like,
Oh, yeah, you are.
there's a certain charismatic leader. Oh, goodness. There's a charismatic leader that everyone follows.
Bill Clinton.
Donald Trump. They're sheep for Donald Trump. No matter what he does, what he says, they go along with it.
Yeah, I seen an old man say, "What was that?" I think you saw it. The old guy said that if Trump was to kill somebody, he'd still vote for him or something like that.
No, that was actually Donald Trump said that.
Oh, this was an old guy. I seen him on.
Oh,
yeah.
well, part of his
He may have just restated something he heard or something.
yeah. Donald Trump said in the 2016 election that he could shoot somebody on Main Street or whatever, and he would still be elected. I don't agree with that in
That's
any way.
nuts.
But he won.
But there'd still be people to vote for him.
Yeah, there would.
Wow.
But I mean, it was the same way with Hillary Clinton. She could have done it. Joe Biden, he could do he can do some of the worst things in the world.
So
and
what
he'll
does
still
that
have
say?
people back him.
What does that say about? Are we really looking to? I didn't want this to go political. Are we looking to self-serve in parties? I guess. Regardless of the guy behind the letter, I'm voting for him. that's kind of the way it seems nowadays.
Sometimes, but
maybe it was always that way, and I just didn't notice it.
When it became the two-party system that we have now, the Republicans and Democrats, it started becoming that.
Yeah.
It just mattered who has an R and a D by their name. It's not by the policies. But the problem with that is there's too many. I'm going to take it back. There are too many sheep out there that aren't willing to use their brains and realize that these people are just using us.
But, okay, let's say you are a wolf, an intelligent predator in a wolf, and you lone think, you have your own mindset, you realize you're being used. What do you do in that instance?
As a wolf?
Yes. Do you quit with your vote?
No, what you want to be, you don't want to be a wolf. You want to be a shepherd. You can have as many shepherds as you want and be fine. But when you have wolves...
lone thinkers.
Wolves are in packs. There's
only one wolf in the what do you call it? Wolf pack. The rest of those are followers. There's one lone thinker thinking we're going after that, and the rest of them are following him. They're named wolves. Yes,
you're saying wolves are sheep.
Don't get this all twisted.
That's what I'm best at.
Yes, you are.
I can jumble up anything you give me.
Yes.
But
so if people are sheep and they generally are not independently thinking, generally speaking, would you adjust a little bit there? You're on the other side there. No. Generally, they're not independent thinkers. But are we not trained from the beginning of school to be sheep?
Yes, we are. I mean, you're thrown in a classroom and you're expected to follow exactly what the teacher says.
Do what we say.
Yeah.
Get in line. Be quiet. I remember in the third grade, young, I don't know, what are you, 8 or so in the third grade? Something like that.
Well, when you were in the third grade, I wasn't around.
When a person is in the third grade, you're relatively young. And so we went to lunch, and when we were supposed to have silent lunch. I don't understand why they do that. That's the time you should be able to get your energy out. So we went to lunch, and we were to stay quiet.
Unlike that.
Unlike that. And so when we returned to the classroom, the teacher asked, who talked? If you talked, raise your hand. So incriminate yourself, please. So I don't know why I did. I talked. I didn't. I didn't talk. I'm saying I talked. I didn't. So anyway, everyone who talked at lunch got a whipping. Yeah, whoosh. Not necessarily like that.
Now I understand why you said you did.
Yes, 8-year-old into that kind of thing.
You enjoyed that.
But as we're learning in our formative years to act as sheep, when is it okay to be a lone thinker in the school system? Rarely, right?
In the school system, never. I mean, that's the whole point of the school system is if you actually look at how the school system is structured,
I'm looking at it right now.
They don't want you to be a lone thinker. They want you to go with what they say.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you to look outside of the set materials they have that they tell you to look at. They're just getting you ready for.
But in that case, are not the teachers sheep as well? They're doing what they're told as well.
I mean, they're a mix of sheep and wolves. I mean, they're like the wolves in a wolf pack. They're technically wolves
in name,
but they're still following
actions are
they're following what the head wolf says.
Yeah. That's a rabbit hole of sorts that could carry on for a while right there.
Well,
but
no, I'm going to continue on this. I mean,
my microphone.
The school system is set up for people to learn how to be cogs in the machine.
Yeah.
It's not the. What I'm trying to say is, the people that are the outside of the box thinkers are either the ones that are ahead of everybody, and so that they're propped up so that they can one day be that wolf, or they're cast aside as crazy people, and
that
they're never taken seriously.
What about the like the homeschooled kids? Are they? And I guess that would be a home situation. I mean, you're still listening, but do you think in a homeschool setting, maybe you're not so much a sheep?
I mean, that is a possibility. But I mean, even in a homeschool system, you could have a parent be that authoritarian that they're just teaching you.
It could be worse than school.
It could be.
You think about it that way.
But I mean, that's where, I mean, homeschool could be good for somebody.
Yep.
Letting them be a free thinker.
Or do the parents have an agenda?
I mean, there are parents that have agendas. They want their kid to learn something a certain way,
certain thing. Yeah.
But I mean, let me phrase that. Every parent has that. They want their kid to learn certain things a certain way.
And will they? No. They will not listen. That's a free thinker for you.
Well, it's not just teaching them what you want them to know, but it's also not teaching them things that you don't want them to know.
Right.
It's like
teaching them things you do not want them to know.
Don't teach them things you don't want them to know.
Don't teach them things. Yeah.
Like, okay, I can say that if we were to homeschool my children in any way, it would be so that they're not, indoctrinated with all of the
Bluey and Blue's Clues.
Hey, Blue's Clues, yes. We don't want... She gets mad all the time.
Who's Clues?
Blue's Clues. She sees Blue's Clues up on the screen all the time. It's like, I want to watch Blue's Clues because I let her watch some of the old episodes. But the new stuff has all of the woke ideology and stuff where it's literally teaching sexual things to kids.
On Blue's Clues?
When you are talking about someone transitioning from a boy to a girl, you're talking about their sexual reproductive parts.
Yeah.
That's putting sex in kid shows. That doesn't need to be there.
Not necessary.
It's very unnecessary.
I loved Blue's Clues when my kids were little. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. The old stuff is all right. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the new stuff because everybody's got to kowtow to the woke ideology.
There's a word I never understood.
Kowtow.
Yeah.
I was about to say, there's a lot of words that you don't understand, but
I'm not going to say what I think that sounds like.
But going back what I was talking about, oh goodness, you're laughing about that word. But that would be my part.
Cowtail ladies sing a song to I had to say it. I had to say it. Oh, the doo-dah day.
I'm just gonna go ahead and apologize to everybody for this.
That was good. That didn't go through your mind?
No.
Sheep.
No, I'm not a sheep. I'm just a person that doesn't think of that.
You don't look at yourself as a sheep?
At times, yeah.
Okay.
You want me to be specific?
No, not really.
Okay, I can be specific. When I'm at church, I am a sheep of my congregation. My shepherds are what some people will call elders. We call them shepherds because they are called to lead the church, and the church is the sheep. So in that way, I see myself as a sheep.
Yep. I agree.
You're still thinking about counting the ladies.
I am.
Yeah, I know you are.
You're right.
Trying to have a podcast over here, and you're over here
having a grown-up conversation, and you're singing songs.
Singing songs ain't the problem. It's
that song.
That song.
So, Chris, so our schools seem to be making us sheep. Military, same.
Yeah, our military. I mean, people in the military are the same.
Have you watched any YouTubes of the Army Marines whenever they get off the, I was going to say the cheese, but we'll call it the bus, and unload these hundreds of people, young people, and they just rip them from the time they get off the bus. The whole time, they're thinking, God, I wish I hadn't done this. This is stupid. Why did I do this? I'm just asking for them to just rip me a new one from here to there. And what they're doing is they're ripping who you are straight to the ground.
Oh, they're
rebuilding
you so they can rebuild you into the machine that they. I did air quotes.
Do air quotes.
That they want you to be, because they want you to follow every single little instruction
without thinking.
Yeah. There was an episode I can remember of the TV show Malcolm in the Middle. The oldest son, Reese, I think was his name. He gets mad at his mom or whatever and ends up joining the military. And during boot camp, he's a wild child. Like, he doesn't, when he first gets there, he trades in all of his gear that was given to him from the military, for the Army. He trades all of his gear for a Game Boy and a few games and everything, and his sergeant comes through, or drill sergeant comes through and starts yelling at him and making him doing push-ups in the mud, but it doesn't change him at all. And he finally is like, I'm getting sick and tired of this. I'm just going to shut my brain off.
You shut it off.
And he does the thing like,
it's off.
Did it happen? And he literally would just do exactly what he was told by his drill sergeant. And it made it, to him, for him, it made it perfect.
Made it work. Because you relatively have to do that. Cut it off. Wolves, Chris. What do you know about wolves?
They are...
Are they scary? Do they intimidate you? Wolves.
They're untrained dogs.
Ooh. Untrainable, maybe?
No. Wolves were bred to be more docile and...
You mean dogs?
Yeah, that's what they bred them into. They bred them to be more docile and listen to human instruction, and that's where we get dogs from.
Yeah. Wolves are complex, highly intelligent animals who are devoted to the family.
Sounds like they're part of the Fast and Furious movie.
I know some people like that. Complex, highly intelligent, devoted to family. And I'm going to tell you what that, to reading that right there, ends up lonely as well.
Yep.
When people use the word wolf,
Wolf in sheep's clothing.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 15 of the King James says, "Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are wolves." Wolves. So, someone comes to you as meek, vulnerable, willing to listen, yet
Supposedly.
inwardly they have
Ulterior motives.
the desire to lead, to be the controller, not the controlled. These are things in this world. I don't think we have to worry about that very much. I mean, on a everyday scale, I just don't witness a lot of people coming to you
Thanks.
weak, yet they are a strong-willed person. I haven't run into a lot of those, but maybe that's why I don't notice it. Maybe they're very good at it, and I'm not able to notice it.
Well, I just watched a series on Apple TV, Blackbird. I was telling you about it.
You did.
The guy,
I did not watch
you haven't watched any of it yet.
because I can't get on my Netflix account.
It's Apple TV.
You said Netflix.
No, I said Apple TV.
Well, I can't get off of that. Well, I actually can't get off of it yet. I can't get onto it. I'm still paying monthly, but since I got my new television, I don't know how to log back into the thing. Yeah. Blackbird. That's another animal.
Well,
We're
going
putting
on,
a lot of animals in here today.
on the
like
show
on the farm.
Blackbird, the guy is
Like
trying.
the bus. Blackbird. Bluebird.
The guy, one of the main characters, is trying to befriend this man, and he's trying to do it as if he is.
Statue of Liberty.
I don't know where that came from, but he tries to befriend this other convict through looking like he's a strong person.
Oh.
But at the same time, he's showing weakness to this other guy so he can try to figure out if this guy actually killed these women or so forth.
I'm confused.
The guy's a big macho man.
It's probably why I didn't watch this show.
Well,
I don't understand what you're talking about.
The guy,
He's strong, but he's weak. He's good, but he's bad. I don't.
no. The actual main character. It's based off a true story.
Those are the best.
He goes into this. He goes from minimum security prison to a high security prison, and they can't get. They are retrying this guy. He was on appeal on whether or not this guy actually killed all these girls. They needed some sort of confession from this guy to keep him in prison. And so they told the main character that if he goes into this prison, that he'll have his sentence commuted, he'll get out, and it'll keep the murderer in for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to befriend this guy and make him feel secure with him, but also relatable. So he has to, being in prison, you have to show you're a big, tough guy. Like there was in the show and in real life, because I listened to an interview about the guy, to show his dominance to to the guy he's trying to befriend. A guy changed the channel, and he beat the crap out of him, almost killed the guy in prison. And that sparked a relationship with the prisoner that he was trying to get the confession out of, and then made it to where he could befriend them. But to befriend them, he had to make the guy think that he is big and tough and he's macho, but he does have a weak, sensitive side.
But would you not say that everyone that seems macho have that weak side?
Everybody has that.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of if they show it or how they show it.
Mm-hmm. Try to cover it up, I guess.
Because, I mean, most macho men that you see these days, showing an emotion of any sort other than anger or you can't be sad, and you can't. There's certain ways you can only feel to be a macho man. You can't let anybody see the hard times, the bad side.
No crying.
Nope, because that shows weakness.
Yeah. And I probably would have agreed with that at a younger age, but I'm older now, and a guy that will cry, I'm not saying every day, that I would question myself, but someone who would weep for whatever cause that really breaks their heart, that's a real man. That's a real heart. And I guess I would not have looked at it that way at a younger age. I'd have been no crying, all that business.
Oh yeah, I was the exact same way. I mean, I can remember times back when something emotional would happen to me and I would cry, and my brother would make fun of me for it because big men don't cry. Men don't cry.
You just cried right before the show.
What?
You just cried right before the show.
Well, you made fun of me and it hurt my feelings.
Well, I didn't know. Didn't know it was your time, Alice. We joke with one another. Come on now.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, growing up, even not that long ago, that's how boys were taught.
How are you going to show your son? How are you going to show your son? Are you going to tell him crying's okay? Stop crying. You're not a girl. I mean, have you thought about it? I mean,
I have.
Yeah.
Because I am going to. I have a boy and a girl, and so I'm going to raise them differently, but certain things are going to be similar.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter is going to be more emotional, and I understand that. But at the same time, she needs to learn crying over every little thing you don't get is not okay. There are times I'll tell her, stop crying.
Try it up.
Yeah.
Try it up.
But I mean, in that same instance, I'm going to do close to the same with my son.
Yeah. You've got to be pretty close because he's going to play off of her, him being the younger. And whatever she does, he's going to do too.
Yeah, I know.
So, Chris, I got another animal wrote down here. Goat. What do you think about goats?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah, but we hadn't got there yet. Thanks for stealing my thunder.
You asked me what I thought.
The animal. Goat.
No, that's not what
Goat.
you said. You said, what do I think about?
Goats. I did. Yeah, exactly. Goats.
And I told you what I thought about when you said goat.
Have you ever owned a goat?
No, but I have been told
Around
many things about them.
Have you ever been around them? Around a goat? Like it?
Not for long periods of time. I have been around goats before, but not for...
You ever been to, what's the amusement park up there in Gatlinburg. Dollywood.
Dollywood,
You ever
yeah.
been to Dollywood?
I have been to Dollywood.
They have goats.
Yes, they do.
You ever seen
I've been to a petting zoo.
There you go. There's some goats for
As
you.
I said, I've been around goats,
I
just
like
not for long
goats
periods of time.
generally. I like goats. I think they're neat. Kind of.
They eat everything.
We used to have goats. A couple of them. Neat little things. But, like you've already ruined it for us, that's not exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about a greatest of all time goat. That kind of goat.
Tom Brady's.
Do you know how long ago that GOAT saying was used, when it was originally used?
No, I do not know when they started calling someone the GOAT.
How long do you think?
30 years.
Well, it's longer than that.
100 years.
Not quite.
60 years.
Somewhere in the middle. So, as I was studying on this, greatest of all time, goats. I don't think a lot of these on this list I have, and probably in other people's minds, were sheepish people. I want to think they were lone thinkers, strong thinkers. Think about themselves because they had to become an artist at their craft. The number one guy or girl in their craft. And so for the small list I have here, I started it out with a sport I know zero about. Golf. What do you know about golf, Chris?
I know of Tiger Woods.
There you go. Boom. Finished. And do you think he's the greatest of all time just because we live in an era that we got to see him play?
An error.
Era.
That
we got to see him play? You think that's the reason we call him the GOAT of golf?
For you and I, yes, because that's all we know about it.
But statistically,
he's not.
Is he not the greatest?
I don't know because I don't know anything about golf.
I have no idea. This is just a list to lead up to one at the end. Football.
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 From
Soccer?
America.
Oh,
from
football.
America.
Real football.
They call Tom Brady the GOAT.
The GOAT.
Not sure if I agree. That's okay.
Why not?
I don't know.
We are going to have this out right now.
These are very subjective.
How is Tom Brady not the greatest of all time?
Well, so I believe American football, you play with a team and an organization. All of that has to come into play. And I say if because he wasn't, but if Tom Brady was put on, let's say hypothetically, the New Orleans Saints, and his tenure there looked like average Tom, then he would not probably show up in the greatest of all time.
No, if he was just an average quarterback, no.
So,
but the thing about it is,
situationally speaking, he showed up at a good time with a good organization, and it all worked for him. So, is he the greatest statistically in football?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you only statistically look for the greatest of all time?
What do you mean by that?
Okay. If there was we'll get out of the NFL for just a second, but we will return. That's a comma, not a period. In the NBA, if there was a player statistically that had more rebounds, more points, more championships, more this, more that, more whatever, shoe sales than Michael Jordan, who's the GOAT there? Michael Jordan or hypothetically the other guy?
Well, if somebody had better stats, all around better stats, and could show championships for it, then it would be the other person. But what makes Michael the GOAT wasn't just his stats. It was also the way he carried himself. It was also the way that when he was in a finals, he won the finals. He never lost in a finals. That's what made Jordan the GOAT. I mean, it's kind of the same thing with Brady. It's not just his stats that make him the greatest of all times. Not just his yards, his touchdowns, his completion percentage.
It's 40-yard time.
It's also
that definitely didn't make him the GOAT.
It also is the rings he has on his hands.
Yeah, I get it.
Because he won championships.
Just not a huge fan. But yeah, he can be the GOAT of American football. What about soccer? Real football.
That's not real football.
It really
That's kicking
is.
a ball around.
It is. Who's the GOAT?
I don't know.
We'll go with Messi.
Sure.
That's what the internet said.
We don't
What
know
do we
much
know
about
about soccer? He kicked Nashville SC in the tailpipe.
Not really.
Yeah, well, they won. That's all that matters.
Yeah, they won in after
all you gotta,
extra time.
You just got to win by one.
That is beating somebody. That's
Yep.
not kicking someone in the tailpipe.
I can call it whatever I want to.
No,
It's all
because
subjective.
I
could kick you in the tailpipe.
To kick someone in the tailpipe, you have to be a full length ahead of them.
You don't own the whole understanding kicking in the
Oh,
tailpipe.
but I do.
Oh, but you don't.
Oh, but I do.
All right. Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali. Both were boxers. Heavyweights. Who's the GOAT?
Who had an undefeated record?
Who's the GOAT?
Who had an undefeated record?
Nobody.
Didn't? No.
No.
Ali did.
No.
Who did Ali lose to?
That does not matter at this point. Who's the best?
It
Go.
does matter.
Name it. You would flip-flop on... All right, Mike Tyson in his prime, Muhammad Ali in his prime. Boom. Who wins? Mike Tyson. Boom.
I can't say that.
No competition.
You want to know why I can't say that?
Because it never happened. It never will happen.
No, that's not the reason
Never
why.
could have happened.
For me, that's the reason why I can't. That is not the reason why I can't say that.
Here it is.
The reason I can't say that is because I don't care about boxing.
Well, I did. Only because Mike Tyson.
I never watched boxing. I thought it was
I
two
did.
guys that got in a ring. I mean, it wasn't until later on in life that I saw that boxing was
Oh, yeah.
more than just
Coming
getting in
from
a
a
ring and throwing
WWE
punches.
guy.
You liked WWE too. I don't want to hear it.
What's your point?
You're saying it's coming from a WWE guy.
Was I lying? It was coming from a WWE guy. I'm WWF/WWE. Now, say something. Greatest of all time wrestler. Go.
Bruno Sammartino.
Really? Hulk Hogan.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay, in what ways?
Without Hogan, there is no WWE. Great salesman. 24-inch pythons. Tan. Hogan.
Hogan wasn't in WWE for how many
WWF.
years? And okay,
No,
WWF.
He got it off the ground, and it lived after his reign.
But, okay,
for
but
sure.
going back to your
that whole wolf pack thing and all. With Hogan,
going back to your
That's a
other thing,
joke.
what if Hulk Hogan didn't go to WWF? He went to some other brand. Would WWF not have been there?
I don't know.
We don't know.
Mm-mm.
Who brought in more money to the company,
Hogan.
Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold?
That's 30 years later. It don't count.
They wrestled at the same time.
So Hogan stayed around way too long.
Hogan or Stone Cold, who brought in more money?
If
who
you
brought
take
it?
1984 money versus 2004 money, that's different.
Oh, you're talking about inflation stuff?
Sure.
Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin still
I
outsells
don't believe
him.
it.
You don't have to believe it, but it's real.
More people are interested that time, 2004, because of Hogan's initial run. Yeah, so one more animal from the farm. Chicken. Chickens.
See, here's the thing, though. People all the time, when you're scared of something,
Exactly.
they call you a chicken.
Yep. Why?
See, that's... I don't... Because most people think of, when you go after a chicken, they'll start running away. But what people don't see is if they see you going after their nest or going after their kids, they will protect to their death. A rooster will protect his hens.
Well, supposedly, now I don't know if any of this is true. I just read it, that the calling of someone as a chicken came as what you just said, kind of. The rooster or the cock,
Cadoodle-doo,
was the strong-willed, get around the family, I'm using spurs on you guy. And the weaker of the two was the chicken. So to call someone a chicken is saying you're opposite of a rooster. So
you're
because
the weaker.
You're the weaker of the two. Yeah, that's what I read. Whatever. But to call someone a chicken, because someone won't do something you want them to do, they're actually the opposite of that. They are the rooster. They're not the chicken, because they're able to stand and say, I'm not doing that.
Yep. But most people are sheep and fall to peer pressure.
Most or some?
I'd say most people are sheep.
You can say that.
I said I would say that.
You did say that.
I did say that.
Don't know if I agree to that. I think it's situational, is what I think.
They're okay.
Because that same person that is sheep acting in one scenario, in the very next one, they're not.
I believe
the children are the future.
I believe that most people are more sheep than they are. I won't even say. See, there's a difference though, because a wolf, when you think of a wolf, it's someone coming at it from they're looking to take advantage of a sheep. What we want is people to become shepherds.
But you just said, in your definition, a wolf is coming after something to get what they want, right? That's how you described a wolf.
Well, if you want to go with the wolf pack, the pack of wolves are sheep to the main wolf, but they are the people that are doing the work for the head wolf, so they're technically still wolves.
Yeah.
It's like a hierarchy or a pyramid scheme.
We'll go with the pyramid scheme of wolves.
But what we want...
uneducated canines.
But what we want are shepherds, people that aren't... When you think of a shepherd...
Ulterior motives. That's the difference in sheep and wolf and shepherds. Ulterior motives.
Because a wolf wants you to do their bidding...
Their what?
Their bidding.
Are we going to Vegas?
I wish.
What are we doing? The bidding.
They want you to do what they want.
Pick the Browns at +3.
They want to take advantage of you at any point. Whereas a shepherd is trying to guide you to somewhere where you are safe,
I think
away from the wolves.
Love comes into play. A shepherd will love you into a situation.
Yes.
A wolf will shove you into a situation. Love and shove. You didn't catch that the first time I said it.
I try not to look too far past what you say.
You see how he treats me, people? We need your support. I need a new co-host.
Well, you're gonna have to find somebody.
We have open mic coming up. Mosquito.
You're holding auditions for a new host,
Co-host.
co-host.
No, we're looking for maybe in the future having our own guest. Maybe it could be one of you guys. Maybe.
You might have to bring your own microphone.
Low budget.
Very low budget.
Right next to no.
No, I could say it's no budget.
You could, but that would not be true. We do have a budget.
Of what?
We're not discussing this. This is
This is private stuff.
This is after hours kind of thing. Yes, a lot of people are sheep, but I do think it is situational. That same lady you may see give in to. So if a lady was at the gas pumps filling up her car, or not, and someone robbed her for her money, is she a sheep because she give it over? Is she weak because she gave her money over, possibly to save her children's life or her own?
I wouldn't say that would make somebody a sheep.
What would you say?
I would say that she's trying to protect her family.
I think that's a very strong person. But maybe in someone's eyes, they look at her as weak.
Weak.
Yep. So it's subjective and very situational, because that same person could wait till her children in the car were safe and then went after the robber, and she took care of the situation herself. So you need to be very careful about how you label folks. What you think, what you see. It's not always what you see.
People are like onions.
People are people. Like
Cut them in
onions?
half and you can see all the rings, all the different layers.
I think that's trees.
Rings, yes, but there are layers to an onion.
But not to people.
There are layers to people.
Not really.
There are layers to who we are as people.
I think. What was that? What just turned into a
we
pig.
are.
Speaking of a new farm animal,
We are technical.
it's a hog. It's hog. Boss,
Oh,
that is.
heavens.
Boss Hog. Remember Boss Hog?
No.
You watched the Dukes of Hazzard when you were growing up?
Nope.
Wow. You've been deprived.
I have not
No
been
chips.
deprived.
No Dukes of Hazzard?
I watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Man.
That's a good movie.
They've got all these shows on streaming services. You could be watching them. It would help you out to watch some chips.
Nah, I'm fine without it.
Chips or Dukes of Hazzard. Alice. There's a good one.
I'll just watch good shows instead.
Those are all great shows. The Jeffersons. Good Times. Archie Bunker.
I'll stick with Family Matters.
Man, so deprived.
How is that? Family Matters is a good show.
Is that the one? Here
Urkel.
we come to save the day.
No.
What is that?
Urkel. Family Matters.
Oh,
Did I do that?
yeah. I didn't ever like that. Yeah.
That just shows how terrible of a person you really are.
All right.
That is a joke.
So I heard a song before we started this show. Someone was playing it.
Are you talking about the Sheeple song by Tom McDonald that I played for you?
You were playing, and in that song, it said, "Nothing is what it seems." That's what it said in the song.
Correct.
Nothing is what it seems. But I asked the question, it's exactly what you see.
Well,
Is it
the way
exactly what you see?
In the song, what he's talking about is the way the news and everyone portrays the things that are going on out in the world. And to be completely honest, what the news is putting out there has tinges of truth to it. But like everybody, they have their own biases, and so they are skewing how they put the news out there.
But you do the same thing.
We all do, but it doesn't mean that we cannot be unbiased in something. We can be unbiased in how we put our put news out there. You put it all out there, not just the snippet that you want. It's like all the stuff going on with the fires in Maui. They know the number of people that are missing and or are dead. But because they're not coming out, they apparently know the reason why the fire started. But they're not coming out and telling people why.
So what did you hear started the fire?
There's multiple stories that I've heard.
Okay.
Power lines that weren't being kept up.
Yep.
Apparently there has been an arsonist running around that city, or even I think the island of Maui, setting fires.
Mm-hmm.
Going into far out conspiracies.
Yeah, don't do that. No, I think I know the one.
The laser.
Let's don't.
Yeah.
So you said. So you know which one? You said they know how many's.
They
died,
do. They know how
many's missing.
Yes.
So they know how it started as well.
Yes. The somebody was trying to question the mayor of the city or of the. He was an official that was in charge over the area. And he said, we do know how the fire was started, and we do know how many people are missing.
Okay.
I am not releasing that at this time.
Okay.
And it's been that way ever since then.
Okay.
So he has come out and said that they know how things started.
Would your life change if you knew how many people died? I mean, why do we need to know that? If there's a reason they're not saying, there's probably a good reason for that. I'm just guessing. Throwing it out there.
That would be naivete, though.
What is that?
Naivete?
Naive?
Naivety?
Nativity? Like the nativity?
No, like being naive.
Okay.
And believing that our government's just not telling us something just because there's something that...
But you don't always have to stir up a situation to say it's something more than it is. It could be just that.
Okay. Do you think that people would be more or less outraged if...
Less. Oh, you wasn't finished. Go ahead.
You think people would be more or less outraged if they knew that it's not just 100 people that are dead or missing from the fires, but closer to 1,100 people that are dead or missing?
Where's the outrage, though? How would you be outraged about that versus just upset or saddened with the information? How would you be outraged?
Being outraged by going for the people, not killing them, but trying to hold them accountable for them not doing what they were supposed to have done. The electric company had been given grants to fix the power lines because they knew that those power lines were old and needed to be kept up. The money that was given to them was not used to keep up those power lines.
And we know this?
We know this because the fires and people have done...
But they had those 80-mile-an-hour winds as well. That didn't help anything.
No, it didn't help anything, but...
That hurt everything. Yeah.
But...
It was wind.
Therefore...
We can't control wind.
That was from the fire. But if the updating of the power lines could have possibly kept that from happening.
But there's no way to know.
Yes, but that would
Still, the poles could have been snapped in half or something with high winds and all that.
Yes,
whether
and then,
they're new or old or whatever.
Then if that happened...
Which it looked like it did. Although the electric lines and all were old, same thing still could have happened if it was new. Could have. Hypothetical.
But that's where it comes from, of people taking the necessary precautions to, like, updating the lines, and 2, the poles. if that were to happen with a new line and a new pole,
Mhm.
people wouldn't be as outraged because they did what they were supposed to do. But it happened. Okay. Then at the same time, though, that leads to they weren't letting people leave. This is a
You're
story.
on an island.
They weren't letting the people leave that were in the path of the fire.
Mhm.
They shut down that road. People were not able to leave. And so people would go back home and just sit there thinking, oh, it's going to go by. And apparently there was a day off of school for the kids because of the high winds, I guess. And so there's no telling how many kids were left at home and died from the fires because parents couldn't get to them. And so they don't know what's going on unless they're, I don't know. I just
Have to plead ignorant. I don't know a whole lot about this situation. I just watched one news story about the whole thing, and it was from a guy there on the island and lost his home, lost his whole community, and he was able to get out of his community. I don't know where he escaped to, but he lived. But that one street there was all clogged up. People were getting out of their cars, jumping into the ocean, still going to die, but drowned. And it was very, very sad, very, very bad.
yeah.
But he was saying that.
Well, there was also a response issue with getting water to the area.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was very delayed.
Yeah. He said that tornadoes made with fire were all around. The wind was making fire tornadoes. That just sounds very wild. I mean, wow. I couldn't imagine living through that deal.
Oh, but Joe Biden can. He'll tell you about that
I heard
fire he had in his house.
Why politicians have to think they've got to one up the situation? It's been going on for years.
Yep.
You don't have to one up a situation. Just show up, say I'm sorry. We'll help best way we can.
Yeah.
Not one up the situation. Wow.
Well, also when you're the leader of a nation, when you're supposed to be the shepherd of a nation, but you're a wolf as a person, and so instead of going a day or two after the events of whatever happens to survey the area and give your condolences to the people and then try to help the people, you take 2 weeks, and within that 2 weeks you take in 2 vacations, and whenever somebody asks you to have a comment of what you think about what happens, you say no comment.
They didn't give him anything to say. Do you think that we need officials to show up to disaster situations? Because to me, it's always just been a distraction. They want your,
But I mean, they might
money.
want a distraction
Maybe.
because
That's why I ask a question.
because you
I don't
just lost everything.
Yeah.
People can only take that.
The money it takes to get President of the United States to your place could have helped, I don't know how many families for, a few days. I don't know if it's necessary for politicians to show up to wreckages and whatnot. I don't know. It's just a question.
But then the next part is
Why didn't he show up?
We're going to give you money, and when you think about it, So I was listening to somebody talk about it, and
I would have never believed that.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of people talk about situations that they are more versed in that I'm not.
Yes, you do.
So
what about a mosquito flying in the room?
Yeah, I know. The amount of money that we have given to Ukraine per capita is astronomical.
Yep.
And
a lot of money.
You think about how majority of that money could have been used to help these people on Maui.
Yeah, I mean, you could what you just described, that situation, Ukraine's money versus it could go over here. You could do that from the largest amounts to very, very small amounts.
But when we're sending $120 billion to another country, and giving them our old war equipment. Okay, whatever. But then you have these people whose lives have been uprooted.
Yep. Well,
to make you feel better, we'll give you $750. You just sent $120 billion to another country.
Doesn't sound right.
And then you're throwing $750 to our own citizens who are in Hawaii that could be using that money.
Are they really U.S. citizens, though?
Yes, Hawaii is a part of the U.S.
Okay, come on.
Just like Alaska.
Yeah, really? Let's think twice on that one.
And it just
makes you mad, don't it, Chris?
Yeah, to see how, I mean, that's just what gets me, though, is we've got so many sheep that are following behind all these wolves, whether it is Joe Biden, whether it's Donald Trump, whether it's name a politician out there.
Ron DeSantis.
Sure, whether it's Ron DeSantis, whether it's
Hillary Clinton,
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.,
Robert Jr.
Those are all wolves. You can find shepherds out there. People like,
but they're usually
wolves.
Humble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those humble people are the humble ones are usually the ones that aren't as popular.
Yeah.
Because they're willing to give all of the credit and everything to
others.
Yeah.
The humble shepherd will never be elected president of the United States.
And that is sad.
Yeah, it is. That's the guy that I would want to be in charge.
I think right now
the independent, humble shepherd gets my vote.
We're never going to have a perfect one like that, but no. I think the closest...
No. Ross Perot.
The closest in this election that we have, in my opinion, is...
here we go.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah, say that 3 times fast.
Vivek Ramaswamy, Vivek Ramaswamy, Vivek Ramaswamy.
I'm not excited about the upcoming election.
There's nothing to be excited about. But this isn't an election podcast. This isn't an election podcast.
No, it's not. We're talking about sheep, wolves, and goats. And one thing I didn't bring up, greatest candy bar of all time is goat. Say it. You got to say it fast, Chris. This is on the time
Reese's Fast Break.
Really? Peanut butter? I can't do that. Milky Way. There's you.
I hate Milky Way.
There's your greatest of all time. You got your chocolate, got your caramel, nougat. Whatever nougat is, I think it's a filler.
Take out the caramel, I'm fine.
Really? You don't like caramel?
I hate caramel.
Really?
Caramel, however you want to say it.
What do you got against it?
I don't like the taste.
Pecan. Which one?
Don't matter to me.
No, which one do you say? Because you said caramel, I said caramel. Pecan.
Honestly, I say it both ways.
Pecan. Tomato. Yeah. That's just
potato.
Oh, definitely potato. Who says potato?
I say potato.
Oh, give me some
potato
mashed
soup.
Potatoes, honey.
Mashed potatoes.
Greatest of all time. Here, hold yourself on this one. Greatest of all time, and I'm gonna phrase this in a way. Wait a minute, I gotta set it up. I gotta phrase this in a way you'll answer it quickly. Okay. Greatest.
John Cena. Oh, sorry.
Greatest of all time. Sugary drink. Go.
Coca-Cola.
No, it's not bad. I would go Coke Zero. That's why I said sugary or sugar-like, because Coke Zero has no sugar. It's got
a sugar substitute.
Could have said sweetened drink. Great. Here's one for you. Greatest of all time potato chip.
The Ruffles, plain Ruffles.
Cool Ranch Doritos.
Plain Ruffles.
Used to, when I got out of school as a junior in high school, I'd go to the local store, Cool Ranch Doritos, Mountain Dew, and a candy bar. Usually a Milky Way. That was my jam.
My wife still makes fun of me to this day, because if I ever have ham sandwiches, like a piece of bread, ham.
I know what a ham sandwich is.
Well, some people put cheese on it. I don't put
On a ham sandwich?
Yeah. I don't put a slice of cheese on there. What I put on there?
Uh-oh.
Nacho cheese Doritos. And then I put the other piece of bread, and then I smash it down, fold it in half, and eat it that.
Let me get this straight. You put bread, ham, Doritos.
Nacho cheese Doritos. And then another piece of bread on top of that.
So the Doritos have substituted the slice of cheese.
Yes.
You got some crunch going on.
Yes.
I'm digging it.
It's not bad.
This also coming from a guy that took a handful of French fries, put it on his hamburger.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Wow. I do that too.
No, you're the one I'm talking about.
Oh. Okay.
I've never done that.
You've never taken fries and put on a burger?
I've never done that.
I always do that.
That's what I'm bringing up.
You want to talk about people like my dad? They take
wait a minute.
Tuna casserole.
Wait. You need to set this up.
This is
Chris's father will take go.
Oh, I remember as a kid we would have tuna casserole, peas, corn. No, it wouldn't be a second vegetable. It'd be tuna casserole, peas or corn. Sometimes green beans. Then,
I'm gonna have to interject here and say, Dwight, it doesn't matter. Get to the punchline.
Then also mashed potatoes. Then my dad would put applesauce on top of it.
Yes, he would, and does.
Like the little. He still does this. The little containers of applesauce that you would put in like a kid's lunch or take for lunch yourself. He dumped that on there.
Mm-hmm.
Then he proceeds to mix the entire thing together.
Gross.
And eats it like that.
The greatest of all time knots. We just hit it right there.
Tuna casserole.
Applesauce.
I hate tuna casserole.
Whatever. Spaghetti. He had spaghetti and meatballs one day and put some.
Yeah, he put applesauce on spaghetti and meatballs.
Ugh. Wow. The things you see at work.
I had to live with the man. What are you talking about?
You lived with a man?
I had to live with that man.
Oh, okay.
He is my father. I kind of grew up in his house.
Did. And do.
Still do. Yeah, we were talking about that at church the other night. You're supposed to leave your mother and father's home and
you did.
make your own. Yeah, I left and then I came back.
They didn't say nothing about coming back.
Oh, okay. Then I'm fine.
Greatest of all time light bulb. Go.
LED. What are you talking about?
The Edison bulb. That's
No.
the coolest. Yeah. LED. No, they ruined the light bulb. LED. Chinese. Thank you.
When I started paying my electric bill, I'll take an LED bulb.
Taking an old Edison bulb. Greatest of all time sunglasses. Go.
Safety glasses you can buy at Home Depot for $20.
Ray-Bans, man.
I don't spend money on stuff
you
like
had
that.
Oakleys.
No, I've never had
Show off.
Oakleys.
Yes, you did.
No,
the big white ones.
Those weren't Oakleys.
The Oakley lookalikes.
They were safety glasses I bought at Lowe's.
No, the big white ones.
Yes.
Like a long time ago.
Yes.
Prior to me getting hurt.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's a long time ago.
That was a while ago.
That was a minute ago.
But yes, I have never. When I was in high school, I wanted like Oakleys and stuff, but I never.
I know
spent
you
the money.
had some Oakleys.
No, I've never owned Oakleys.
Wow. All right, one more. Greatest of all time. Now this is going to throw you, so I'm going to preface it with saying this is something you work with every day. Okay. Greatest of all time. Wood. Go.
I have to say I like white oak.
Yeah, good choice.
Better than sanding walnut.
Yeah, I like hickory.
Hickory dickory dock.
I like walnut too, though. Red oak is one of my maple.
How about sanding walnut? Do you like that?
No.
No one does.
Sanding walnut with a mask on.
You wuss.
Greatest of all time automaker. Go.
Chevy? I don't.
Really? Honda?
No.
Yes. Yes,
No.
yes.
Chevy.
I like GM as well. Greatest of all time, Honda.
In your opinion.
Yes. It
All right. This has gone off the rails way too long.
Don't be sheep, people. Be goats. Or something like that. Wait a minute. Hey,
shepherds.
We wanted to tell you, thanks for listening. And not only that, we want your input. So text sheep.
Or sheeple.
No. If you text that, I'm not answering.
So that means text sheeple.
If you text sheep to 615-330-3644, text the word sheep. That way I know which episode. Leave us an idea for a future episode and anything else you want us to mention in that episode. And I promise we will.
Don't lie to the people.
It's the truth. That's what I'm known as. That's what I tell.
All right. We'll try to do this again another time.
Yep.
Bye.